Do not ignore this message. I am speaking to you now because time is short, and heaven has released a warning that cannot wait. If you found this message by chance, know this: it was not an accident. I am the Lord your God, and I have sent this word because your family is standing at a spiritual crossroads right now. Something is approaching, unseen by human eyes, and only those who are alert will be protected. Many scroll past when I speak. Many delay obedience. But you stayed. And because you stayed, I am giving you access to a warning that will save, protect, and realign your family. 3 angels have been released in this very hour. They are not coming tomorrow. They are not coming next week. They are active right now. One was sent to warn. One was sent to protect. And one was sent to separate what is holy from what is dangerous. What is coming is not meant to destroy you, but it will expose, shake, and test families who are spiritually asleep. Do not let that be yours. Stay until the end. Listen carefully, and when your heart burns within you, you will know this word is for you. The urgent warning from heaven. Listen to me. I did not send this message to scare you. I sent it to save you. Right now, there is a shift happening around your household. You may not fully understand it yet, but you can feel it. A strange tension, sudden disagreements, unexpected fatigue, disruptions that seem small but keep repeating. These are not coincidences. I am warning you because the enemy has been observing your family quietly, looking for an open door. And what concerns me is not his intention. It is your distraction. You have been carrying many responsibilities. You have been worrying about finances, health, and relationships. And while your heart is good, your guard has lowered. That is why I am speaking now. The warning from heaven is clear. Do not treat this season as normal. Something is trying to enter through subtle ways, through words spoken in anger, through unresolved bitterness, through exhaustion, and through silence where prayer once existed. My word says, be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. 1 Peter 5:8. Notice what I said. Prowls, not attacks immediately. That is what is happening now. But hear me clearly. You were warned because you are chosen to respond. This is not about fear. This is about authority. If you take this warning seriously, what was meant to harm your family will be stopped before it manifests. I need you to understand something important. The danger is not always an external attack. Sometimes it is spiritual neglect, prayer becoming rushed, faith becoming quiet, unity becoming fragile. That is why heaven intervened early. I am calling you to wake up spiritually, not in panic, but in power. Tonight, you must cover your household in prayer. Not later, not when it feels convenient. Speak my name over every room. Declare peace where confusion has tried to settle. And do not say, nothing bad has happened yet. This warning came so nothing bad will happen. Many families only cry out after damage occurs. You are being given the grace to act before. If your heart feels heavy as you hear this, that is not fear. That is discernment awakening. And I tell you this with love. If you ignore this moment, the next warning may come through pain instead of mercy. But I believe better things about you. That is why I ask you now, as an act of faith and obedience, to respond. Pause for a moment and write in the comments, I receive this warning, and I cover my family. This simple act is not for algorithms. It is a spiritual declaration. Do not leave without responding, because the next chapter will reveal who was sent to help you and why 3 angels were assigned to your family specifically. The three angels were sent now. Listen carefully, because what I am about to reveal is not common knowledge. This is not symbolic. This is not poetic language. This is a real spiritual movement happening right now. I, the Lord, have released three angels concerning your family in this very moment. Not because you asked perfectly, not because you fasted long enough, but because your heart cried out, even when your mouth was silent. You did not see them arrive, but heaven did not miss your tears. The first angel was sent to warn. This angel moves quietly. He brings uneasiness before danger appears. He stirs your spirit when something is off. That strange feeling you couldn't explain? That moment when you felt the urge to pray but didn't know why? That was not anxiety. That was the warning angel touching your discernment. Many ignore him. You did not. The second angel was sent to protect. This angel stands at doors you never see, conversations that didn't happen, accidents that were delayed, arguments that almost exploded but suddenly stopped. Protection does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like nothing happening when something should have. You thought it was luck. It was mercy. The third angel was sent to separate. This is the most misunderstood assignment. This angel does not come to destroy. He comes to remove what does not belong. Wrong influences, harmful attachments, people, habits, or thoughts that quietly drain your household. That is why certain connections are shifting. That is why some people feel distant suddenly. That is why what once felt comfortable now feels heavy. Do not resist this separation. I know it feels uncomfortable, but I am pruning to protect. My word says, "For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways." Psalm 91, Elidrivth. Notice, command, not suggest. These angels were not sent randomly. They were assigned because something attempted to approach your family line, and heaven intervened early. But hear me clearly now. Angels respond to alignment, not chaos. If your home becomes filled with constant negativity, anger, unforgiveness, or fear, their work is hindered, not because they lack power, but because spiritual authority must be welcomed. That is why I am asking you to partner with heaven. Today, I need you to do three simple but powerful things. 1. Speak peace aloud in your home, even if no one else joins you. 2. Remove at least one object, habit, or influence you know does not honor me. 3. Call your family by name in prayer, not generally, specifically. Do not say, "God knows, yes, I know," but authority is released through your voice. Right now, the warning angel is still watching. The protection angel is still standing guard, and the separating angel is still working quietly. But time matters. This is not a season to be passive. This is a season to be spiritually intentional. Some families will feel the shaking soon and wonder why. You were told ahead of time. And because you were warned, you are also covered. If your heart is racing as you hear this, that is not fear. That is alignment happening in real time. So I ask you now to seal this chapter with obedience. Write in the comments right now, "My family is under divine protection." Do not rush past this. Your words matter more than you realize. Because in the next chapter, I will expose something critical. The enemy has already moved, and I will reveal exactly how he is trying to enter your house. The enemy has already moved against your house. Listen to me closely, because what I am about to reveal requires honesty, humility, and courage. The enemy does not announce himself. He does not knock loudly. He slides in quietly, through cracks that seem harmless. And yes, he has already attempted to move against your house. Do not panic. You are not too late. You are hearing this because intervention has already begun, but you must understand how he operates, or you will underestimate the danger. The enemy does not start with destruction. He starts with disruption. Small misunderstandings that escalate quickly. Words spoken in frustration that linger longer than they should. Sudden exhaustion that makes prayer feel heavy. Distraction that pulls your attention away from what truly matters. You may have said recently, "Why does everything feel harder than before? Why are we arguing over things that never mattered? Why do I feel distant from God, even though I still believe?" These are not random emotions. They are signals. The enemy targets families because families carry legacy. If he can weaken unity, he can delay destiny. If he can sow division, he can interrupt protection. My word says, if a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Mark 3:25. That is why the attack often begins inside, not outside. Hear me now. This is important. The enemy is not after one argument. He is after momentum. He wants prayer to become occasional. He wants forgiveness to be postponed. He wants silence where communication once existed. And once momentum is lost, families become spiritually tired. Not sinful, just unguarded. But I am exposing this now so you can reverse it immediately. You must stop normalizing what I am calling out. That recurring tension? Address it in prayer. That unresolved conflict? Bring it into the light. That habit you keep excusing? It is a door. I say this not to condemn you, but to protect you. The enemy already tested the perimeter. He looked for fear. He looked for isolation. He looked for fatigue. But when you listened to this message, you interrupted his plan. Now, hear this promise carefully. What the enemy meant to escalate, I will cause to collapse, if you respond with obedience. This is not a time to accuse one another. This is a time to cover one another. Speak life, not suspicion. Choose patience, not reaction. Pray before you respond, not after damage is done. Tonight, before you sleep, I need you to do something intentional. Lay your hand over your heart and say out loud, "Lord, reveal any door that is open in my home." Then be still. I will show you, not to shame you, but to empower you. And when I reveal it, do not delay. Close it immediately. Because I tell you the truth, the enemy cannot stay where light is invited. He cannot operate where authority is exercised, and he cannot harm what is covered intentionally. You are not losing ground. You are being repositioned. And in the next chapter, I will reveal something many families miss. The sign that was given and ignored right before escalation begins. Do not miss the next message. Write in the comments now, "No weapon formed against my family will prosper." Your declaration matters. The sign many ignored. Pay close attention now, because this is where many families fail to recognize what heaven is trying to say. I gave a sign, not loud, not dramatic, but clear to those who are spiritually attentive. And many ignored it. Before escalation ever happens, I always send a warning sign first. I do not ambush my children. I do not delight in shock. I warn because I love. This sign often comes quietly. A repeated sense of unease you cannot explain. A dream that lingers in your spirit after you wake up. A sudden heaviness when you enter your home. A conversation that keeps replaying in your mind. You felt it, but life was busy. Responsibilities were heavy. And you said, "I'll deal with this later." That was the moment. The sign was not meant to scare you. It was meant to slow you down. When I send a sign, I am asking you to pause, pray, and realign. But when signs are ignored, pressure increases. Not as punishment, but as urgency. Think back carefully. There was a moment when you felt prompted to pray for your family specifically, not generally, not quickly, but intentionally. There was a moment when you felt a check in your spirit about a decision, a relationship, or a habit. There was a moment when peace left a situation that once felt right. That was the sign. My word says, "Surely the Lord God does nothing unless he reveals his secret to his servants." Amos 3-7. I always reveal before I allow. But here is what many do not understand. Ignoring a sign does not cancel protection. It delays response. That is why tension grows. That is why confusion increases. That is why clarity feels harder to grasp. Not because I left, but because you were being invited deeper. I am not angry with you for missing it. I am speaking now because grace has extended the window. The sign you ignored is being reactivated right now. That feeling you have as you listen, that awareness rising in your chest, that sudden clarity about what needs to change, that is me, giving you another chance to respond before consequences arrive. Do not say, "I wish I had listened sooner." Say, "I am listening now." Today, I want you to do something simple but powerful. Ask yourself honestly, what have I been sensing but avoiding? Do not rush the answer. Do not justify it. Do not explain it away. Just acknowledge it before me. When you acknowledge a sign, you regain spiritual clarity. And when clarity returns, confusion loses power. I am telling you this because the next phase is critical. The sign was the whisper. What comes next is exposure. Not to harm you, but to protect what matters most. Write this in the comments as a declaration. I am listening, Lord. I will not ignore your signs. Because in the next chapter, I will reveal something sobering. Your family is being observed, and vigilance is required now more than ever. Do not stop here. Your family is being observed. Listen to me with discernment and calm, because this truth requires maturity, not fear. Your family is being observed, but not in the way you might imagine. This is not about paranoia. This is about spiritual awareness. Every household that carries destiny, prayer, or generational purpose is seen in the spiritual realm. Light attracts attention, both from heaven and from the enemy. And I tell you this not to alarm you, but to equip you. You must understand something clearly. Observation always comes before intervention. Heaven observes to protect. The enemy observes to exploit. Right now, there is a watching happening around your household. Patterns, reactions, habits, words spoken casually, attitudes left unchecked. Not because you are weak, but because you matter. You may wonder, why my family? Because what flows through your family line carries influence beyond what you see today. There are prayers your grandmother prayed that are still active. There are promises spoken over your bloodline that have not expired. There are callings waiting to manifest in the next generation. And whenever legacy is present, attention increases. This is why vigilance matters now. Vigilance is not fear. Vigilance is intentional living. It is choosing to guard conversations. It is choosing not to let anger settle overnight. It is choosing prayer even when you are tired. It is choosing unity when misunderstanding tries to divide. My word says, watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation. Matthew 26:41. Notice, watch and pray. Not one without the other. Some pray, but do not watch. Some watch, but do not pray. You are being called to do both. Observation does not mean attack is guaranteed. It means a decision point has arrived. You can either remain passive, or you can become spiritually alert. Alert families do not react emotionally to every situation. They respond spiritually with wisdom. Let me tell you what vigilance looks like in this season. It looks like pausing before speaking when emotions rise. It looks like addressing tension early instead of avoiding it. It looks like removing influences that normalize negativity. It looks like restoring prayer to the center of your home, not as a ritual, but as a relationship. Some of you have allowed busyness to replace devotion. Others have allowed familiarity to replace reverence. I am not condemning you. I am inviting you back. Because here is the truth many miss. When a family becomes spiritually alert, observation turns into retreat. The enemy does not stay where he is noticed. He does not linger where unity is protected. He does not thrive where prayer is consistent. He looks for unguarded moments, not perfect people. And that is why this chapter matters. You are not being watched because you are vulnerable. You are being watched because you are valuable. So today, I ask you to take responsibility, not with anxiety, but with authority. Declare peace over your home daily. Bless your family members by name. Refuse to entertain constant negativity. Choose forgiveness quickly. These are not small acts. They are spiritual boundaries. I am teaching you how to shift the atmosphere of your household without shouting, without fear, without drama. And as you do this, something powerful happens. Heaven's observation becomes active covering. Angels are not just watching. They are standing guard. They respond to alignment. They respond to intentional faith. You may not see them, but your obedience activates them. Let me reassure you now. Nothing is allowed to touch your family without passing through my permission. And when you walk in alignment, permission is denied. This is not a season to be careless, but it is also not a season to be afraid. It is a season to be awake. If your heart feels steady as you hear this, that is because you are stepping into clarity. So now, seal this chapter with a declaration of vigilance, not fear. Write in the comments right now. My family is covered, alert, and protected. Do this as an act of spiritual authority, because in the next chapter, I will tell you exactly what you must do today, not tomorrow, not someday, to strengthen the covering over your household. What you must do today. Listen to me now, because this instruction is time-sensitive. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more prepared. Today. I am not asking you to do something complicated. I am asking you to do something intentional. What protects families in critical seasons is not perfection. It is obedience in small, decisive actions. Many wait for a dramatic sign. Many wait for the right moment. But I tell you the truth. Delay is the enemy's greatest advantage. So hear me clearly, and do not resist what I am about to say. First, you must restore order in your spirit. Before you correct anything outside, you must realign inside. An anxious heart cannot lead a peaceful home. A distracted spirit cannot guard a household. Today, take a moment alone, even if it is brief, and silence the noise. No phone, no rushing, no multitasking. Place your hand over your heart and breathe slowly. Say out loud, Lord, I surrender my worries, my fears, and my need to control. This is not weakness. This is authority through humility. When you release what is heavy, you create space for discernment. Second, you must speak life aloud in your home. Silence is not always peace. There are atmospheres that remain tense simply because no one has spoken blessing into them. Words carry weight. Your voice carries authority in your home. Today, walk through each room, even quietly, and speak peace. Say things like, peace lives here. Confusion has no authority here. This home is covered by God. You do not need witnesses. You do not need agreement. Heaven responds to faith, not volume. Third, You must close at least one open door. Every season of warning requires evaluation. Ask yourself honestly today, what have I tolerated that I should have addressed? It could be a habit that drains your joy. It could be constant negative speech. It could be entertainment that disturbs your spirit. It could be unresolved resentment. Do not minimize it. The enemy does not need many doors. One is enough. Choose one thing today and say, "This stops now." When you close a door intentionally, you weaken every other attempt. Fourth, you must pray specifically, not generally. General prayers comfort the heart. Specific prayers shift outcomes. Do not just say, "Bless my family." Call them by name. Speak protection over each person. Ask for wisdom where confusion has existed. Ask for unity where tension has tried to grow. Specific prayer invites specific intervention. My word says, "You do not have because you do not ask." James 24:2. Ask clearly. Ask boldly. Ask today. Fifth, you must forgive quickly and fully. This is where many delay, and delay is dangerous. Unforgiveness is heavy. It clouds discernment. It weakens authority. I am not saying what happened did not hurt. I am saying holding it gives the enemy space. Forgiveness is not agreement. Forgiveness is release. Say today, "I release what hurt me. I refuse to carry it." You may need to repeat this. Do it anyway. Every time you forgive, you strengthen the covering over your family. Sixth, you must declare trust, not fear. Fear speaks quietly, but consistently. What if something goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I'm too late? These thoughts do not come from me. Today, replace them with trust. Say out loud, "I trust God with my family. I trust God with my future. I trust God even when I don't see everything clearly." Trust silences fear. Fear feeds chaos. Seventh, you must commit to consistency. One prayer is powerful. Consistent prayer is transformational. You do not need long hours. You need daily intention. Even 5 focused minutes a day can shift atmosphere. Consistency builds spiritual walls that the enemy does not waste time trying to climb. Let me reassure you now, you are not behind. You are not failing. You are responding. And response changes everything. Because you chose to act today, what was forming quietly will lose momentum. This is how families are protected. Not by panic, but by prompt obedience. If your heart feels lighter right now, that is not imagination. That is alignment. Now seal this chapter with action. Write in the comments, "Today I choose obedience and protection." Do not rush past this, because the next chapter contains a serious warning. Do not make this decision right now. Listen to me carefully, because this warning is protective, not restrictive. Right now, emotions are high. Thoughts are active, and urgency is in the air. This is not the moment to make major decisions. I am speaking to you because many families suffer unnecessary loss, not because they were disobedient, but because they acted too quickly during a sensitive spiritual season. Hear this truth and let it settle in your spirit. Not every urge is guidance. Not every pressure is confirmation. Not every open door is permission. Some decisions feel urgent because pressure is present, not because peace is leading. You may be considering something serious right now, a sudden change in plans, a financial move driven by anxiety, a conversation fueled by frustration, a separation, confrontation, or drastic shift. And while it feels like action will bring relief, I tell you the truth. Reaction can delay what patience would protect. This is not the season for impulsive choices. The enemy often applies pressure when he knows clarity is coming. He wants you to move before discernment settles. He wants you to decide while emotions are loud, and wisdom is still forming. My word says, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." Proverbs 21:5. Haste is not faith. Speed is not obedience. I am not saying never decide. I am saying wait for peace, not pressure. Let me be very specific now. If a decision brings confusion, anxiety, or division, pause. If it makes you feel rushed or cornered, pause. If it pulls you away from prayer and clarity, pause. Peace does not shout. Wisdom does not rush. Some of you feel an intense urge to fix everything now. But I tell you this with love. You are not required to solve everything in one moment. This is a season of stabilization, not drastic change. Stabilize your spirit. Stabilize your home. Stabilize your thoughts. Once stability is restored, decisions will become clear instead of heavy. I am protecting you from regret. There are choices that look right today, but would create complications tomorrow. And I would rather slow you down now than heal you later. This pause is not denial. It is divine timing. You are not missing your opportunity. You are being preserved for the right one. Let me also say this clearly. Silence can be wiser than explanation. Waiting can be stronger than acting. Trust can do what force never will. If you feel pressure from others to decide quickly, step back. If you feel guilt pushing you forward, step back. If you feel fear whispering now or never, step back. I am not the author of confusion. When I lead, I bring peace even before the outcome is visible. That peace will come, but only if you give space for it. So today, I ask you to do something counterintuitive. Delay the decision. Pray instead. Observe instead. Listen instead. I will make the path clear, not through stress, but through assurance. And when the moment is right, you will not feel rushed. You will feel ready. This warning is an act of mercy. Many will ignore it and learn through loss. You are learning through wisdom. So seal this chapter with trust. Write in the comments now, "I choose patience and God's timing." Because in the next chapter, I will reveal something deeply personal and sensitive. The family member Heaven is most concerned about "listen to me now" with tenderness, because this chapter requires love, not judgment. There is one person in your family that Heaven is watching more closely in this season. Not because they are bad, not because they have failed beyond repair, but because they are tired, vulnerable, and quietly carrying more than they admit. This person does not always speak about what they feel. Sometimes they laugh to hide pain. Sometimes they withdraw instead of asking for help. Sometimes they appear strong, but inside they feel lost, pressured, or misunderstood. You may already know who I am speaking about. When you thought of them just now, that was not coincidence. That was discernment. This family member is not being targeted because they are weak. They are being targeted because they are important. The enemy often focuses on the one who feels unseen, overwhelmed, or emotionally isolated, even in loving families. He whispers lies quietly. You're alone. You don't matter as much. No one would understand. These lies are subtle, but damaging if left unchallenged. And that is why Heaven is calling you. Not to control them, not to accuse them, but to cover them. My word says, carry each other's burdens, and in this way, you will fulfill the law of Christ. Galatians 6:2. Covering is not confronting harshly. Covering is interceding faithfully. This person may be wrestling with doubt. They may be battling discouragement. They may be feeling pressure to meet expectations they cannot sustain. And instead of asking for help, they are growing quiet. I need you to understand something important. Silence does not mean peace. Distance does not mean strength. Sometimes it means they are running out of emotional and spiritual energy. This is where your role becomes critical. You were not given this message by accident. You were chosen to be an intercessor, a protector, a safe place, not with speeches, not with lectures, but with presence, patience, and prayer. Do not approach them with suspicion. Approach them with compassion. A simple question asked with love can open a door. Prayer alone cannot. Are you okay? I'm here if you need me. You don't have to carry this alone. These words carry more power than you realize. Now hear me clearly, because this is important. Do not force spiritual conversations if they are resistant. Force creates walls. Love creates bridges. Instead, pray quietly but consistently. Call their name before me. Ask for protection over their mind. Ask for clarity where confusion exists. Ask for rest where exhaustion has settled. Intercession is powerful precisely because they don't have to know you're doing it. Heaven responds to quiet faithfulness. Some of you feel guilt now, thinking, I should have noticed sooner. I should have done more. Release that guilt. You are here now, and now is enough. This chapter is not about blame. It is about responsibility rooted in love. Let me tell you something comforting. Even when they feel distant from me, I have not left them. Even when their faith feels weak, my grip is still strong. They are not lost. They are being protected while vulnerable. But your cooperation matters. Cover them with kindness. Cover them with patience. Cover them with prayer. And do not speak negatively about them, even privately. Words spoken in frustration can wound more deeply than silence. Choose grace. If you do, something beautiful will happen. The pressure will ease. The heaviness will lift. The distance will shrink, not overnight, but surely. Because love disarms what force never could. If your heart feels tender right now, that is not weakness. That is intercession awakening. So seal this chapter with a commitment. Write in the comments, I cover my family with love and prayer. This is not for show. It is a spiritual agreement. Because in the next chapter, I will reveal something powerful and reassuring. Supernatural protection is being activated. Listen to me now with faith, because this chapter marks a turning point. Up until now, I have warned you. I have instructed you. I have slowed you down to protect you. Now I speak to you about what is already being activated on your behalf. Supernatural protection is not coming. It is being activated right now. When you chose to listen instead of ignore, when you chose obedience instead of fear, when you chose patience instead of haste, you triggered movement in the spiritual realm. Protection does not always arrive with signs and wonders. Most of the time, it manifests as prevention. What was meant to reach your family will be blocked. What was meant to confuse will lose momentum. What was meant to divide will fail quietly. You may never see what I stopped, but one day you will look back and realize that could have gone very differently. That was protection. Understand this truth deeply. Heaven responds fastest when families choose alignment over panic. You did not beg. You did not run. You listened. And because of that, boundaries are being drawn around your household. Some of you will notice subtle changes first. A sense of peace returning unexpectedly. Arguments losing their intensity. Clarity replacing mental fog. Rest returning after long exhaustion. These are not emotional fluctuations. They are signs of covering settling into place. I am not only protecting you from what you fear, I am protecting you from what you never saw coming. There were conversations that could have escalated. There were decisions that could have cost you deeply. There were moments where harm almost found access, but I intervened. Why? Because this season is not meant to break your family. It is meant to strengthen it. Protection is activated when responsibility is embraced. You chose to guard your words. You chose to close doors. You chose to forgive. You chose to wait. Each choice built a layer of defense. Now, here's something very important. Supernatural protection does not remove responsibility. It reinforces it. You are still called to be vigilant, still called to pray, still called to walk wisely. But now you are not standing alone. Where you walk, peace follows. Where your family gathers, tension loses authority. Where your name is spoken, heaven is attentive. Do not underestimate what consistent faith creates. One prayer spoken daily outweighs panic shouted once. One act of obedience outweighs hours of worry. One decision to trust outweighs endless analysis. This is how protection remains active, through relationship, not rituals. Some of you are waiting to feel protected. I tell you gently, protection is not always felt. It is revealed over time. You will see it in outcomes. You will see it in avoided disasters. You will see it in restored unity. And when you do, remember this moment. This was the turning point. Now I want you to do something important, not out of fear, but out of confidence. Every morning for the next 7 days, say this aloud. My family is covered. My home is protected. God goes before us. These words reinforce what is already active. You are not asking for protection. You are agreeing with it. Agreement strengthens covering. If your heart feels calm right now, that is not coincidence. That is assurance settling in. Fear is losing its voice. Trust is taking its place. So seal this chapter with gratitude, not anxiety. Write in the comments now, I trust God's protection over my family. Do not rush forward without sealing this. Because in the next chapter, I will address something very practical and sensitive. A financial attack that will be reversed. Listen to me carefully now, because this chapter touches a sensitive area. Provision, security, and peace of mind. I know the pressure you have felt. I know the calculations you replay in your mind. I know the concern you carry quietly, so others won't worry. And I tell you the truth. There was an attempt to bring financial strain into your household, but it will not succeed. This was not random. Financial pressure is one of the enemy's favorite tools because it affects decisions, relationships, sleep, and faith all at once. When finances are shaken, fear tries to speak louder than wisdom. But hear me clearly now. What was meant to destabilize your family will be reversed, not by panic, but by alignment. This was an attack, yes, but not a defeat. Some of you noticed unusual expenses. Others felt delays where provision was expected. Some felt anxiety rising for no clear reason, especially at night. This was not because you failed. It was because pressure was being applied to rush you into fear-based decisions, but because you paused, because you listened, because you chose patience. The plan has been intercepted. My word says, the Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty. Deuteronomy 28:12. Notice, open, not drip. Provision is not always immediate, but it is always intentional. Let me explain what is happening now. This reversal will not necessarily come in one dramatic moment. For many, it will come in steps. A burden lifted, a solution appearing unexpectedly, a conversation opening a door, an opportunity that aligns instead of exhausts, a debt losing its grip, wisdom replacing anxiety. This is not magic. This is restoration through order. I am not only restoring finances, I am restoring peace around finances. Because money problems rarely hurt only the wallet. They strain marriages. They distract parents. They exhaust the mind. And I am addressing the root, not just the symptom. Now listen very carefully. This is not the season to chase quick money. This is not the season to risk what you cannot afford. This is not the season to compare your situation to others. Comparison creates pressure. Pressure leads to haste. Haste leads to regret. Instead, this is the season to steward wisely what you already have. When you steward peace, provision follows. Some of you will receive unexpected help. Some will receive clarity that saves you money. Some will see expenses reduced instead of income increased. Provision comes in many forms, not just numbers. And I must say this gently but clearly. Do not speak negatively over your finances. Words like, "I'll never get ahead," or "we're always struggling," or "nothing ever works out." These words reinforce the very pressure I am lifting. Replace them with truth. Say instead, "God provides for this family. We are guided, not rushed. We have enough, and more is coming." Faith does not deny reality. It directs it. Now, let me give you a specific instruction for this season. Before making any financial decision, large or small, pause and ask, does this bring peace or pressure? If it brings pressure, wait. If it brings peace, proceed carefully. Peace is not passive. Peace is confirmation. And I promise you this, you will not look back on this season and say, "We barely survived." You will say, "We were protected from something we didn't even see." This reversal is already in motion. It may not arrive the way you expect, but it will arrive right on time. If you feel relief rising as you hear this, that is not wishful thinking. That is assurance. So seal this chapter with trust and gratitude. Write in the comments, "God is restoring peace and provision to my family." Do this without fear. Do it with confidence. Because in the next chapter, I will speak a promise many have been waiting for. The promise God is making to your family. Listen to me now with an open heart, because this chapter is not a warning. It is a promise. After every season of alert comes a season of assurance. After every moment of restraint comes a moment of release. And after every test of faith comes confirmation. I am making a promise to your family. Not vague, not distant, not conditional on perfection. This promise is rooted in covenant, not performance. You have wondered if the pressure would ever lift. You have questioned if your prayers were truly heard. You have hoped quietly that this season would not define your family's future. Hear me clearly now. This season will not define you. It will refine you. The promise I am making is this: what tried to weaken your family will instead strengthen your unity. What tried to confuse you will instead clarify your purpose. What tried to exhaust you will instead teach you how to rest in trust. I am not only restoring what was shaken, I am building something more stable than before. This promise touches every area you care about. A promise of unity. Where tension tried to settle, understanding will grow. Where silence tried to divide, communication will return. Where misunderstandings lingered, grace will lead. Unity does not mean the absence of disagreement. It means disagreement will no longer control the atmosphere. Your family will learn how to pause instead of explode, how to listen instead of assume, how to protect each other instead of withdraw. This is a promise of emotional healing. Some wounds were not visible. Some words cut deeper than anyone realized. Some disappointments were carried quietly. I am not ignoring those wounds. I am addressing them gently, but completely. Healing will not come through confrontation alone. It will come through safety and patience. You will notice laughter returning, conversations becoming lighter, sleep becoming more restful. These are not small changes. They are signs of restoration taking root. A promise of wisdom for the future. You will not repeat the same mistakes. This season is teaching discernment, not through shame, but through awareness. You will recognize warning signs sooner. You will respond calmly instead of reactively. You will make decisions from peace instead of fear. This wisdom will protect not only you, but the generations that follow. Children learn from atmosphere more than instructions, and the atmosphere in your home is being renewed. A promise of provision with peace. Not just enough, but peace around enough. You will learn how to steward without stress, how to plan without panic, how to trust without denying responsibility. Provision will not come with chaos attached. It will come with clarity. I am teaching you that abundance is not only what you have, it is how you live with what you have. A promise of protection moving forward. You will not walk into the next season unguarded. What you have learned will stay with you. The habits you are forming will protect you. The alignment you chose will continue to work for you. This protection is not fragile. It is built on awareness, prayer, and trust. And now hear this promise carefully, because it is personal. I will not abandon your family halfway through the process. What I begin, I complete. My word says, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion." Philippians 1:6. This is not temporary help. This is ongoing guidance. Some of you are afraid to hope again, afraid of disappointment. I understand that fear. But hope is not denial of past pain. Hope is the decision to believe pain will not have the final word. And it will not. You are not rebuilding alone. I am with you, guiding, correcting, restoring. This promise is not activated by striving. It is activated by trustful obedience. You have already begun. If your heart feels steady now, that is confirmation. If you feel quiet confidence rising, that is assurance. So seal this promise not with anxiety, but with agreement. Write in the comments now, "I receive God's promise for my family." Write it slowly. Write it sincerely. Because in the final chapter, I will ask you to do one last thing. The spiritual covenant you must seal now. Listen to me carefully, because this is the final and most important chapter. Everything you have received so far, the warning, the protection, the correction, the promise, now comes to a moment of decision. Not a dramatic decision, not one that requires perfection, but one that requires agreement. What I am asking you to seal now is not a contract of fear. It is a covenant of trust. A covenant is not an emotional reaction. A covenant is a conscious alignment of the heart, and alignment determines what remains active in your life. You see, many people receive a word, feel hope, feel relief, and then slowly drift back into old patterns. Not because they are bad, but because they never sealed what they received. What is not sealed can fade. What is not guarded can weaken. What is not practiced can be forgotten. That is why I am speaking to you now. This covenant is simple but powerful. It is not about doing more. It is about remaining aware. First, you are sealing a covenant of awareness. You are agreeing to no longer live spiritually asleep. Not anxious, not obsessive, but aware. Aware of your words, aware of your reactions, aware of the atmosphere in your home, aware of when peace leaves and why. Awareness keeps doors closed that fear never could. You are saying, I will not ignore signs anymore. I will pause when peace leaves. I will listen before reacting. This awareness is protection. Second, you are sealing a covenant of responsibility, not control. Responsibility does not mean carrying everyone's burden alone. Control drains the soul. Responsibility guards what was entrusted to you. You are agreeing to cover your family in prayer, not to control their choices. You are agreeing to model peace, not to force change. You are agreeing to lead by example, not by pressure. This is wisdom, and wisdom creates safety. Third, you are sealing a covenant of consistency, not intensity. Consistency. You are not promising to pray perfectly. You are not promising to never feel tired. You are promising to return to alignment when you drift. 5 minutes of sincere prayer matters. A calm word spoken instead of anger matters. A pause before a decision matters. Consistency builds walls that crisis cannot break. Fourth, you are sealing a covenant of trust over fear. Fear will still try to speak, but now it will not be in control. You are agreeing to trust even when answers are not immediate, to rest even when outcomes are still forming, to wait even when pressure whispers, "Hurry." Trust is not passive. Trust is choosing peace over panic, and peace keeps heaven active in your situation. Fifth, you are sealing a covenant of gratitude. Gratitude anchors protection. When you thank me, not just after answers, but during process, you reinforce alignment. Gratitude says, "I believe you are working even when I cannot see everything yet." This posture keeps your heart open and your spirit grounded. Now hear me clearly, because this is important. This covenant does not mean your family will never face challenges. It means challenges will no longer control your family. It means storms will come, but they will not dismantle what is covered. It means pressure may appear, but peace will not disappear. You are not sealing this covenant alone. I am sealing it with you. My word says, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Joshua 24:15. This is not about religion. This is about alignment of priority. And now I ask you to do something simple, but sacred. Wherever you are, pause for a moment, take a slow breath, and say these words out loud, slowly and sincerely. Lord, I seal this covenant with you. I choose awareness over fear, trust over panic, obedience over delay. Cover my family, guide my home, and keep us aligned with your peace. That is enough. You do not need special words. You do not need perfect faith. You need agreement. And now, as a final act of sealing, not for visibility, but for spiritual intention, I ask you to respond. Write in the comments now, "I seal this covenant. My family belongs to God." Do not rush this moment. This is not the end. This is the beginning of a more stable, peaceful, and protected season for your family. If this message touched your heart, share it so another family can be protected. Subscribe so you remain connected to future guidance. And if you feel led, support this work with gratitude. You were warned so you could be protected. You were guided so you could stand firm. And you were not alone, even for a moment. Peace remains with you and your household. Listen to me one last time, because this closing is not an ending. It is a commissioning. You did not stay through this message by chance. You were guided here because your family matters, and heaven takes responsibility seriously for those who listen, respond, and align. Many heard the warning. Few stayed to understand it. Even fewer chose to act on it. You did all three. And because of that, something has already shifted. From this moment forward, your family is no longer moving blindly through this season. You are moving with discernment, with coverage, and with peace that does not depend on circumstances. Let me remind you of what has been sealed. You were warned early, so harm could be avoided. You were slowed down, so mistakes could be prevented. You were aligned, so protection could remain active. You were promised, so hope could be restored. You sealed a covenant, so nothing would be lost. This is not emotional comfort. This is spiritual positioning. You may not see instant fireworks. You may not feel dramatic changes overnight. But you will notice something far more powerful. Calm where there used to be tension. Clarity where there used to be confusion. Unity where there used to be distance. Wisdom where there used to be haste. These are the fruits of alignment. Now, hear me carefully. Do not go back to spiritual autopilot. You do not need to live in fear. You do not need to watch every moment anxiously. But remain aware. Remain prayerful. Remain intentional. This is how families remain covered. If, in the coming days, you feel tempted to worry again, pause and remember. You were warned and you responded. If pressure tries to rush you, pause and remember. You chose patience and protection followed. If doubt whispers, pause and remember. A covenant was sealed. And covenants are not broken by circumstances. They are upheld by alignment. Now I ask you to do 3 final things, not out of obligation, but out of purpose. 1, either share this message with someone you love. There is another family who needs this warning and protection. 2, subscribe to this channel so you stay connected to future guidance and spiritual clarity. What is coming next will build on what you received today. 3, write one final declaration in the comments, not for visibility, but for agreement. My family is protected, guided, and covered. Write it slowly, write it with confidence, and then release this moment. Go in peace. Walk in wisdom. Lead your household calmly. What needed to be stopped was stopped. What needed to be activated was activated. What needed to be sealed was sealed. A prayer of divine protection, peace, and covenant for your family. Take a deep breath. Read this prayer slowly. If possible, read it out loud. This is not just words. This is agreement. Heavenly Father, I come before you now with humility, reverence, and trust. I quiet my heart before you, and I acknowledge that you are God alone, sovereign, faithful, unchanging, and full of mercy. Lord, I thank you because you see what I cannot see. You know what is approaching, what has passed, and what you are preventing right now. Nothing surprises you. Nothing escapes your attention. Today I place my family before you. I lift every name, every life, every generation connected to me, past, present, and future. And I ask you to cover us completely. Father, I ask first for forgiveness. Forgive me for the moments when I was distracted. Forgive me for the times I ignored your gentle warnings. Forgive me for choosing worry over prayer, haste over patience, fear over trust. Cleanse my heart now. Remove every weight that does not come from you. Wash away anxiety, guilt, resentment, and exhaustion. I surrender control to you, Lord. I release the need to figure everything out. I lay down every burden I was never meant to carry. Right now, in the authority of your name, I declare peace over my life and over my family. Peace over our minds. Peace over our conversations. Peace over our home. Peace over decisions that need to be made. Where confusion has tried to settle, let clarity rise. Where fear has whispered lies, let truth speak louder. Where tension has lingered, let your presence rest. Father, I ask for divine protection. Not only visible protection, but unseen protection. Protect us from accidents we never saw coming. Protect us from words that could have caused division. Protect us from decisions that would have led to regret. Protect us from spiritual attacks meant to weaken unity. I ask you to place a hedge of protection around our home. Guard every door. Guard every room. Guard every heart that lives within these walls. Let nothing enter that you have not permitted. Let nothing remain that you have not approved. Lord, cover our sleep, cover our rest, cover our coming in and our going out. I declare that no weapon formed against this family will prosper. No plan of harm will succeed. No strategy of confusion will advance. Father, I lift up every family member individually. For those who feel strong, keep them humble and grounded. For those who feel tired, restore their strength. For those who feel lost, guide them gently back to peace. For those who feel overwhelmed, remind them they are not alone. Where there is emotional pain, bring healing. Where there are unspoken wounds, bring comfort. Where there is silence born from hurt, bring safe communication. Lord, teach us how to speak with kindness, even when emotions are high. Teach us how to listen, even when we disagree. Teach us how to forgive quickly and fully. Remove pride that divides. Remove stubbornness that blocks understanding. Replace it with humility, patience, and compassion. Father, I pray especially for the one in my family who is struggling the most. Even if they hide it well, you see their heart. You know their battles. You know the thoughts they do not share. Cover their mind with peace. Protect them from lies that say they are alone, forgotten, or unworthy. Surround them with your presence even when they feel distant from you. Let them feel safe again. Let hope return quietly but steadily. Let rest replace heaviness. Lord, I ask for financial peace over my family. Not just provision, but peace around provision. Where anxiety has surrounded money, replace it with wisdom. Where fear has driven decisions, replace it with discernment. Where lack has been feared, remind us that you are our source. Close every door that would lead us into financial strain. Open the right doors at the right time, not rushed, not delayed. Teach us how to steward what we have wisely. Teach us how to wait without worry. Teach us how to trust without becoming careless. Father, I reject every spirit of fear connected to finances. I reject the lie that we will never have enough. I declare that you are faithful, and you provide according to your will. Lord, I ask for wisdom in this season. Wisdom to know when to speak and when to remain silent. Wisdom to know when to act and when to wait. Wisdom to recognize your peace as confirmation. Protect us from impulsive decisions. Protect us from pressure disguised as urgency. Protect us from choices made out of fear rather than faith. Teach us to pause. Teach us to pray. Teach us to listen. Father, I now place a spiritual covering over this family. I declare that our home belongs to you. Our relationships belong to you. Our future belongs to you. I seal this covering not with fear, but with trust. If storms come, they will not destroy us. If challenges arise, they will not divide us. If pressure increases, peace will increase even more. Lord, help us remain aware, not anxious, alert, not afraid, prayerful, not passive. Let gratitude become our posture. Let trust become our foundation. Let obedience become our protection. I thank you, Father, for what you have already stopped. I thank you for what you are currently preventing. I thank you for what you are quietly arranging in our favor. Even when we do not see immediate answers, we choose to trust you. Even when the path is not fully clear, we choose to follow you. Even when emotions fluctuate, we choose alignment. Today, I renew my commitment to you. I commit to guarding my words. I commit to protecting peace in my home. I commit to returning to prayer when I drift. I commit to trusting you over fear. Father, I seal this prayer with confidence, not because I am strong, but because you are faithful. I declare that my family is covered, my home is protected, my heart is at peace. And I rest now, knowing that you go before us, you walk beside us, and you guard what concerns us. I release this prayer into your hands, and I say with faith and agreement, Amen.